Okay, looks like we've got most everybody. So welcome to this week's It's Worth a Shot. We'll be covering the new look of the Mountain Pacific website, and we're also going to go over the statistics of It's Worth a Shot so far. If we can go to the next slide, Mary. As a disclaimer, for the third parties, I'm sure you guys have seen this before. I am with Mountain Pacific, so this isn't exactly that important, but we just want to make sure that we do get you all the information. And just because we have it on our presentation does not mean that Mountain Pacific recommends or endorses it. Next slide. So we have a couple observances for you. Coming up in November, we have the US Antimicrobial Awareness Week, which is the USAAW. And then that happens to coincide with the World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week. Each has some great resources, and I believe, oh, they cut the days out, but this is in November. Does anybody have the slide deck handy? Anyways, we'll put in the chat what week it is, but I believe it is November 15th, or sorry, 18th through the 22nd. So it'd be Sunday to Saturday would be the 17th of November to the 23rd of November. Next slide, please. And we just want to send out another reminder that daylight savings ends on the 3rd of November. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, everybody will set their clocks back 1 hour to 1 a.m. except for Hawaii. So I am in Alaska right now, and we are usually 1 hour ahead of Hawaii, or 2 hours behind Hawaii. So when daylight savings happens, they will only be an hour behind Alaska. So that means that Hawaii's time for the November 6th webinar will be at 11:30 as opposed to 10:30 now. Next slide. Okay, so we do have a ADE bulletin out that just was released, and it is recognizing holiday stress. So we'll go ahead and put this link in the chat so that way you can check out that bulletin and look over the resources and information. Next slide. Okay, and looks like we have National Healthcare Safety Network, NHSN, has updated their changes recently for the up-to-date for vaccines, which we've covered on here a couple times. But we just wanted to make sure you guys had links to the most recent training slides and also the surveillance up-to-date definition slides for the quarter. And we did send a IZ Express resource out today that had some updated information on the CDC guidelines for COVID and also for pneumonia. And then last week, I believe we sent out a resource that had the updated viz for the COVID for this year. So if you did not receive those, go ahead and reach out and we will go ahead and send them to you. Next slide, please. All right, as always, if you could add your topics to the chat, we would appreciate it, or you can go ahead and fill out the evaluation and put your topics there. We will be going over later in this presentation some of the evaluation metrics that we have. So again, it's always useful for you guys to fill those out for us so we know what we're doing, how we're doing, and how we should proceed. Next slide, please. All right, influenza is still relatively low, trending kind of even across the United States. Looks like we're getting a bit of an uptick on the East Coast. And also in Alaska, but the rest of our states are still in the minimal level. So just something to keep an eye on, make sure that vaccines are offered and accepted, and provided if they were wanted, and especially out in the community when they come into the nursing homes. Next slide. All right, a couple more upticks for COVID. Again, we're kind of maintaining our trend, a little up and down here. We have some with greater cases, Washington and Michigan, Wisconsin over there in that area. Again, best thing we can do is keep up with our infection prevention policies and make sure that immunizations are offered and received if accepted. Next slide. All right, so if you guys are not aware, we have migrated from our old website to a new one, and this has been in the works for, I want to say, the better part of a year. So as with all transitions, there are some hiccups that happen along the way. And right now we are loading all of our resources to the website. That's happening in the background. But if you guys have seen our resources previously, you do know that a lot of times they have links and whatnot. So we kind of need your guys' help. We've tried to go through all the resources that we have and make sure that the paths are working for our previous links to the new links. And if they aren't, please just reach out and let us know. But we'll go ahead and now take a look at the new website. So next slide. All right, so this will be the new landing page for the Mountain Pacific website. As you can see, you know, kind of clean, and it has the normal, you know, who we are, our services, resources that are available, about us, and then how to contact us. And that website down there at the bottom, that is our website. So it will navigate you to this landing page here. Next slide. So again, an important part about Mountain Pacific is who we serve and what we do, you know, so that is on this first page here. As you can see, we've got the healthcare professionals, patients and families, hospitals. You guys tend to be in our nursing home section, but we also have state programs in our 4 states, as well as community partner opportunities that we have. So we do encourage you to go ahead and look through and navigate our website to see kind of all the pots that Mountain Pacific has our fingers in, and how we kind of help group it all together to make it worth your guys' while. And then also we have our helpful resources there. So this is just kind of a quick resource pile up. Obviously we have a lot more, and I believe these will change as we have more important resources come to the top or to the forefront. So just FYI. And then if you see down there at the bottom that it's worth a shot series, you can see we can navigate directly to all of our recordings and our slides that we have posted on the internet or on the website from that button directly. Next slide. Okay, so when you open up the website, this window here will pop up, and I'm going to go ahead and take over the screen share from Mary so we can do an interactive walkthrough of the website. So let me get here. Let me know when you guys can see my screen. Nope, that's not the right one. Can you guys see the website?
Yes, Miranda, we can see what you have.
Perfect. Okay. So this will be your landing page, but actually this little box here will be the first thing that pops up, because we just want to show, you know, that we do have a new role.
We're seeing the msn.com.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
It's interesting because it's not lighting up around the screen that it's showing. Okay, how about now? Can you guys see?
Yes.
Okay, so to get that little box there, I just popped up this little reminder here, but so just a new site alert will pop up when you first get here. And this is geared towards nursing homes. So if you see who we are is here, and then as you drop down, you'll have all these different sections that you can look at. So where I grabbed those screen clips here is who we serve. I did try to shrink this down for us to see the images better, but it didn't really work out. So we'll just keep it larger, but it's our services, what we do, different works that we complete, what we can offer to you. And then again, links to our most recent events and news and activities that are happening, as well as the helpful resources, which we had a picture of this earlier. And then again, like most places, they have the navigation drop downs for, you know, how to contact us and the different topics that we have. So I don't, and also our location. I don't want to make anybody nauseous, so I'm going to scroll the top real quickly. So close your eyes if you need to. So who we are, or who we help, I'm sorry. We've got the healthcare professionals, nursing homes, patient families, community partners, hospitals and facilities, and then the different state programs. And then if you look under our services, same thing, it will be some of the different contracts that we work on. And then we've got our resources, which you can look at all, which is very daunting, so I don't recommend that. but also, you know, we've got the different breakdowns, which we've got our nursing homes here, which we will go through and look at some of these. But just so you know, our resources are sometimes cross-posted. So even though it might pertain to nursing homes, if it helps with like our community partners or patient and family resources, it could be cross-posted. So if you don't find something in the nursing home section that you're looking for, you might want to go ahead and try and look at other resource tabs to see if you potentially find it there. And again, if you cannot find something that you would like from us or that you know had been on our website, please reach out to us. And then again, we have the About Mountain Pacific, our leadership. We'll do a quick walkthrough here. And Jill is our CEO. We've got Mary Erickson as our Chief Operating Officer. Caitlin Conway does our new development for contracts. Then we've got Dr. K, who is our Chief Medical Director, and you guys have seen him on a couple of these It's Worth a Shot before. Rhett Jackson is our Information Officer, so handles everything IT for us. And then we've got Sean Husmo, who is our Chief Financial Officer. And then Board of Directors, if you wanted to go through and look, you can see we are monitored by a Board of Directors that meet quarterly, I believe. So back up to the top. And then again, our contact information in here, you can send us a quick email. And then we also have our PO boxes. Like I'm in Alaska, we used to have an office prior to COVID, but we went ahead and went to working remotely. So if you wanted to send something to us, you would go through the PO box in Helena, or you can be in contact with one of us state account managers here, and we can work something out. But again, most normal questions, you'll just go through this little form here and it goes to a direct inbox for Mountain Pacific, and then it gets popped to the correct person to contact you back. And we do see these quite frequently, and then they are monitored daily. So if we haven't gotten back to you in a timely manner, definitely reach out again. So to the nursing home section, which I'm sure you guys are all waiting for. So just again, the work that we do, and here's our focus areas. If you click on any one of these focus areas, it will take you directly to the resource pages that can also be navigated to up here. And I will go ahead and show you that in a moment. And then, yeah, basically just kind of a basic page at this point in time. As you guys know, we are kind of, or if you don't know, we are kind of in transition where we're ending the 12th scope of work that we are partnered with CMS for, and waiting for the 13th scope of work to be awarded. They did go from 11 Quinn QIO areas to 7 Quinn QIO areas. So there's a little bit of transition happening. So we'll let you know as soon as we know what's going on with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the resource section now. So we're gonna go under nursing home resources. And these are broke down into categories that we felt made sense. But if, again, this is a new resource and we're looking for, or a new website, and we're looking for feedback, if a different order or having a resource group someplace else makes more sense for you guys, please reach out and let us know, because obviously us navigating our own website and having our partners navigate our website is two completely different things. And so we definitely do value your feedback, and we'll take that into consideration. Here is where you can find that It's Worth a Shot. As you can see, we've got us under vaccines and medication resources, even though this did start out as a 18 or 19-week push that CMS tasked us with on increasing vaccine awareness and uptake. We did transition this after the 19th week to cover multiple different what should we say, topics. So as you can see, they're broken down by each year, and they do have a video and a slide deck attached to each. So the videos are all on YouTube. And then, you know, again, the slide decks can be downloaded, but definitely feel free to look through here and kind of look at the different topics that we've covered over the past couple of years. And make sure to, you know, rewatch or to share the slide decks if you think that they are worthwhile. And then obviously this is our most recent, and we've got everything down to our last, which was the 23rd. And these are usually posted to the website within the beginning of the following week. So this one will be uploaded to the website by, I would say, November 4th usually. We do have a little bit of an issue right now. When you click on the videos, it gives you the name of the video and the number of in the series it was. And our slide decks used to have that information as well, but currently, if you'll look when we download these, it is coming up as something that is downloaded. And if I copy and paste this, so I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys to look at, you'll see that it comes up as a little bit of a different, it just says that it's a downloaded page and it doesn't have a moniker on it. We're trying to fix that in the background to where if we copied these slides and you wanted to share them, then it would say hospital respiratory data reporting, it's worth a shot number, you know, whatever series number it was, and then the actual name. And that's how we used to have it. So that way, if you do have multiple slide decks saved because you reference them or you like to share them for educational purposes or anything, that they'll be a bit easier to navigate. So if you guys do come across that, we are aware of that problem and we're working on it. And then we also have, let's see, is there anything, does anybody want to come off mute and see if there's any resources that you guys are specifically looking for? Like we've got our NHSN, our link to NHSN. We have the hand hygiene or our audit tools are up here. Again, if something, these are all of our SOS. One of them went out today, but each one of our weekly sharing out suggestions on compliance. One pagers are all in here as well to look back up and follow the links. Is there anything in particular that or any web resources that you guys use that you would like to navigate to? I know we had a question on our, wasn't an audit tool. Sorry, does somebody remind me, we had a couple emails going back and forth about our, it was one of our resource tools that the links weren't opening up with. I'm sorry, I should have prepared that ahead of time and I had thought that I put it in the slides, but I didn't. Emergency preparedness. We've got our checklist and our update guidance, the procedures in the flip book. Again, anything.
I have a question. I know I emailed the nursing home group. I might have, or I might have thought about it. This is Charlie in Juneau.
Hey, Charlie.
I have been working with a group of nurses here at Wildflower to improve our assessment of our indwelling catheters.
Okay.
And how other facilities are helping nurses do exception charting so that, because we were cited on changing catheters based on a schedule rather than based on the individual residential or the resident's assessment.
Mm-hmm.
So all I've been able to find is hospital acute care types of assessments on when to take out the catheter and why is it in, but for nursing home residents, they could have them constantly, and we need to make sure we're assessing them based on, you know, sediment, decreased urine output, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a decision tree is kind of what I've been trying to work on.
Okay.
But I didn't know if anyone else had something that works really well for them.
I know that we've talked with one of the other nursing homes that has a not similar issue, but they do have a lot of issues when it comes to the catheter because they have a person that's prone to UTIs and it's, you know, studied and they're going through the process of filling out all the paperwork. So it's not dinged against them on a regular basis because it's not something that's going to be able to be cured or fixed with, it's just going to be as it is. I don't believe we were able to find a resource on our website at that point in time to help with that. But again, as Charlie's asking, does anybody have any resources with their facilities that would help her out? Or can you guys think of anything policy or procedure wise? Feel free to come off mute.
And then one other thing unrelated is Kelly O'Leary shared with me some risk assessments because both in the nursing home and the acute care, I've been using outdated and kind of clunky risk assessments. So I was just wondering if anyone had a tool that was really good for their infection control program annual assessment.
We've been using the one that the CDC provided in that CDC Train program. There was a link to a risk assessment, and that's the one we adopted for our annual IP risk assessments. And then I found that IP, the plan, I adopted it from some other, I don't know, I don't even know where I found it because it was years ago, but we just kind of adopted it and adapted it to fit long-term care.
If you want to share that with us, we'll send it out to the group as well to see if they can, you know, use it or if it, you know, works for their facilities as well.
Sure.
Great, thanks. Anybody else have any questions about resources or navigation of the website? And again, feel free to reach out if you cannot find something. Even we, you know, because this just happened on, I believe the 16th is when the full migration happened. And we ourselves are still kind of searching around trying to find and locate and making sure still, again, some of the resources that we sent out to you guys, like our assessments, our implementation plans for things, sometimes they have old website navigation tools on them that we had linked, and they'll lead you to like the nursing home page, but not the actual resource anymore. So if you guys do come across stuff like that, make us aware. We're trying to find it on our own, but it helps we have more eyes on it.
I stuck the question in chat. I was looking for a flyer or something because you guys have really good flyers, I think. But one for hand hygiene, but not just general hand hygiene, but specifically the importance of doing hand hygiene when you take off your dirty gloves before you put on your clean gloves, because that seems to be one that we keep getting these little tags from surveyors. So is there a one that speaks specifically to needing to do that hand hygiene between dirty and clean glove changes?
Off the top of my head, I do not know one that we have. I can ask the rest of the team that's on here, but now that you've described that, that's definitely something we can put in the works with our communications department and see if we could take one of our old flyers or posters and kind of edit it to share the data. And also we can run it by a couple of you guys too, to make sure that it fits the needs that you guys are looking to put out.
And Miranda or Maria, I think we referenced that in one of the SOS ones that went out under the infection control as a citation. We did the F880 twice. So let me look into which one we did that on, and I will get it to Jolene to send over to you. Or to your account manager that covers your area.
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem, because then it'll show as a specific reason for citation. So until we can get something updated, that'll at least help show the why it's important.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. I'm just trying to find something that is eye-catching as a reminder. I assume, I don't know. I assume people understand the why, maybe not. So maybe that'll help. But yeah, I was hoping just we have so many, you know, wash in, wash out, gel in, gel out, foam in, foam out, moments of hand hygiene, but nothing specifically to between dirty and clean. And that's what I was wanting to highlight and emphasize.
Well, thanks for your input, because we'll definitely take that into consideration and see what we can work up for you guys in a quick turnaround fashion. So that way you're not left, you know, trying to create it on your own or looking for a resource that fits, but maybe isn't just right. So we'll definitely work on that for you and get back to you, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions, or is there anything in chat? I can't see it while I'm sharing my screen. No? Okay, I'll go ahead and give control back over to Mary. And then we can move on to some of the stats for It's Worth a Shot. So again, this is where I showed you where you can find It's Worth a Shot. We already navigated through that. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. And next slide. So this is where we have a little bit of news to share with you guys. So our November 6th It's Worth a Shot, unfortunately, will be our last session. For now, we're going to be taking a pause until we can figure out what's going on with CMS's contract award and how this work will be maintained moving forward. We still have the listserv and the registration list, so we still will be periodically sending out information to you guys. So we will be here and around, and you also can always reach out to us. But we just really want to thank you guys for sticking with us through all of this. What started again as like a 19-week Quick&R type situation that CMS required of us, we have prolonged, and you'll see through some of this data as we move forward how well and successful you guys actually made this webinar. Can we go to the next slide? So as of last week, we've had 139 webinars. Again, we started as 19 weeks of it, so we've definitely prolonged it. This is not required by CMS under our contracts, but we felt that it was just so successful that we wanted to keep going. And as long as you guys found value add, we wanted to make sure that we provided it for you. So as you can see, total per the 139 webinars, we have had 8,209 total participants. So I know you guys have logged on week after week, month after month, but I mean, that's a lot of people to cover in total. And then we average about 60 participants. So sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but that for a weekly webinar series, that is a really great turnout, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. And just to note, our high was 87 participants and our lowest was 37. So saying that our lowest attended, it's worth a shot, and there was 37 people, I'd say that's very successful. And again, we could not have done this without you guys signing in week after week. We really appreciate it. Next slide. So this is just kind of a state breakdown by state. So Alaska's had 1,397 attendees. We average about 11. For Hawaii and Guam, 1,800, and they average about 14 people per webinar. Montana definitely blew us away, and they've got about 19 average with 2,600 attendees, and Wyoming's got 1,500 with an average of 12 attendees. We did go ahead and track, we don't single them out by any means, but anybody that had like a .gov website, we kind of pulled those aside extra to see, it wasn't just the nursing homes, but other state participants and partners that attended. So we had 1,200 of those with an average of 9. And then we had other states. So not just Alaska, Hawaii, Guam, the Mariana Islands, American Samoa, Montana, or Wyoming. We've had 130 attendees from other states join us as well. And that's an average about 2. And then we do have quite a chunk in there that just didn't report a state, which is fine. It's not something that was necessary. It's just some of the data that we were able to gather with an average of 5. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so this is where these evaluations came in so handy for us. So throughout this entire series, we were able to get 1,033 evaluations completed. So we average about 7 evaluations completed per webinar. And then these are some of our ratings out of 5 points. So speakers' knowledge of subjects, you guys rated us at about 4.74, which is great. Presentation skills, we're up there in the 4.71. Ability to engage our audiences was sitting at 4.66, and the value of the information presented is our lowest, which is 4.65, but that's still pretty high considering, it's out of 5. And so we really appreciate the fact that you guys found all this work that we did valuable to you guys. Next slide, please. So these are our topics by number. So in the 39 presentations, we covered 215 topics. When we started this, we used to break it down into 15-minute increments, but lately we've been covering basically just one topic per webinar. But we have covered those topics that were covered. We had 86 outside speakers. So these are people from our communities, stakeholders, partners, facilities that decided to come on and speak for us. And then we had 169 topics covered by Mountain Pacific speakers, which we should bear the lion's share of the burden because, obviously it's our webinar. And then breaking those speakers or those presenters down, we had a total of 97 speakers over 139 webinars, and 70 of those were outside speakers. So that is like absolutely terrific that we had that many people willing to engage with us. And also, if you take that 70 to that 86, you'll see that we had quite a few that actually reported twice. And then we've had Mountain Pacific speakers. There's 27 of us that made up this 169. So just thought that'd be kind of informational for you guys. And then next slide. So here's just some of the resources. We've got the Mountain Pacific resource, or the webinar, or sorry, website, and then the direct access to the nursing home section, and then also the direct access to the nursing home resource section. Next slide. All right, do you guys have any questions about anything that was presented today, or the fact that we're going to be pausing the webinar for a bit? No, okay. So they did pop that evaluation in there. If you guys can fill that out for us a couple more times, we really would appreciate it. Let's go to the next slide. And then next week, we have a presentation on, I believe it's IV hydration. And it's actually gonna be presented by Jessie Kenzie. And if you guys are with us from the beginning, you'll remember that she actually is the one that started this It's Worth a Shot webinar for us. And she has moved on to work with Farm America now, but it's just kind of fun and fitting that she started it with us, and we'll be doing the last presentation as of right now for the final It's Worth a Shot. But again, this isn't final, or sub-Q hydration is what she'll be covering. Again, we do plan to maintain this. We just are going to take a pause for right now and then seeing how we can redevelop it and make it worthwhile going into the next scope of work. So again, thank you all so much for your attendance, and reach out to us if you have any questions, and we will see you next week on January 6th. And again, do not forget daylight savings time to fall back this weekend. You guys have, oh, happy Halloween as well. You guys have a great week.
Thank you.